Hey, welcome to Rust Revival Garage. My name is Tim. I am back on my 1985 C10 pickup truck. I need to make this interior a little bit nicer. I've been driving around in it for a long time, but I've spent a ton of time on my 68 Le Mans. Now I need to get this thing a little more comfortable, so let's get to it. I did manage to get this beast into my garage. Even had a little room to spare. And yeah, look, it's been snowing. That's why I wanted to do this. But I angled it in, got it past that workbench, and she fits. So what's the thing I'm doing today? I'm actually working on the door cards for this thing. I've got a set of door cards that I've had for actually years. When I first bought this truck, my plan was to redo the whole interior and, be able to drive it around. Then I found out the engine was toast. So I'd spent some money buying door cards. And then all of a sudden I took the engine out and was like, ooh, this thing's trash. Got to get a new one. So it's got a Blueprint 350 in it. And yeah, so that everything, it's just been sitting for a while and I need to get them on. But I need to do one thing first. The windows on this do not go up and down well. And I have a feeling they're a little too tight. So when I get the door cards off, I'm going to see if I can loosen up the window, pull it back a little bit in the track so it's not fighting up to get all the way up to the top. But yeah, these are the door cards. These are possibly original. I don't know. This truck was red. If you look right here, you can see the original red color. Somebody sprayed it this maroon color and it's got blue doors. Dash pad is trashed. As you can see, it's just a mess all the way down there. And then also you can see the seats, not in terrible shape until you get over there, of course, on the driver's side, just all chewed up. I've been riding on a blanket for a while now, and that's not going to cut it. So I actually am going to get some new seats, put the door cards on, new dash, and even possibly get a stereo in here so I can finally hear some sounds other than this wonderful dual exhaust. So yeah, I'm wondering, did this thing have a bluish interior on a red truck? That would have been kind of interesting. But me, I'm a little bit more conservative when it comes to colors, and I'm going with black. Black dash, black door cards, black seat, maybe even try to do something with the headliner. As you can see, it's stained and nasty, but it is the fabric type. So it was sort of a grayish blue in here. And I don't know if that was technically blue or black. It also has a lot of gray all the way throughout the bottom of this. I bet that's original. And gray back here too. Guess first things first, get the door card off. I've been in here a couple of times. I've actually replaced the motor, the regulator on both of these doors. I basically put the door cards on to better look and appearance and sound for the power tour. The other thing I need to check out is my window. The power window is not working on this side. It works on the other side. It does not work from that side. And I think I made this one new. The lock still works. This is a new switch, doesn't work, or it does start to work over here, just not over there. So I need to check the wiring to make sure everything's okay there. All right, so the handle is off. Door lock, armrest, the carpet, that's coming off next. All right, that's off. Now the armrest. And there are also 4 down here. You have to love what you find when you work on somebody else's vehicle that they've had before you. Stock versus this is what was laying around to hold the door card on. Come on out, baby. The other thing I gotta watch out for is I don't want to tear the window and door lock wiring. All right, there's the window. Yes. All right, so I got everything unattached. There we go. All right, so as you can see, I was in here before. I did put a little bit of the sound deadening in here. The window regulator, as you can see, that's new. I just don't trust this wiring, and I want to get that sorted before I try to put on a new door card that I don't ever want to have to remove again. Basically, these are really nice door cards, and they fit from top to bottom. They look really cool. They're black with white stitching. I'll show them to you in a bit, but I want to make sure I've got all this sorted out before I close it up again, because I don't want to keep taking those new ones on and off again. I got to get this right. Got my switch back on. Just kind of want to see what it does without the door card on, making sure it's got good contacts, but I just kind of want to see again what this window does. I haven't touched it in a while because I know it doesn't go back up very well. All right, I got the key turned on. Let's see what she does. Nothing. Oh. I wonder if that's why. Maybe to fix it better, but just setting it in there. You can hear it's starting to work. See, look how much room I've got over here. I'm wondering if I move the window back, it might work better. But I guess I need to get this wiring situated first. So it looks like two little clips on here hold this down. Yeah, and then this is the one that broke off. It's the brown wire. Shoot, I don't think I have any of those connectors. Okay, so nobody sells these weird connectors really. Everybody sells a pigtail. So looks like I've ordered that, but I'm gonna have to replace the whole thing. So I guess what I can do is figure out the rest of it. I did look up to see whether or not you could adjust the window. On my Le Mans, you could actually loosen some of the bolts and kind of slide the window back away. But it doesn't seem like you can do that here with the C10. The window is pretty much in the track, and I really can't seem to move it around much, so I don't think that is my problem. What I'm thinking is that these are new felts. All the way around, I've got new felt. And I think perhaps that the felt is dragging it. So I think what I'm going to have to do is when I get my new switch, I'm going to see if I can get the felts pressed in even tighter. It's the only thing I can think of at this point, but pretty much all I can do for now. So I think what I'm going to try to do is check out my new door card and see if I can make sure everything fits and everything works well with that. See what all I have to do. I know I'm going to need to cut holes, which scares me, for both the lock switch and the window switch. But other than that, I don't know what else I'll have to do. Maybe for the door handle. Let's take a look. So like I said, when I got the truck, I thought, oh, I'm going to start buying parts for the interior. I really want to redo the interior. So I checked online and actually found a really good sale through CJ Pony Parts, I think it was, for TMI. They had a really good deal, sale on their door cards. So I picked those up, and they've been sitting here for years. So this is pretty much what told me, hey, I need to at least get this done. So let's take a look at them. Really like the stuff they have. It's just so expensive. But this is the door card. But yeah, check that out. That is cool. It's got a little bit of a built-in armrest. I don't have to cut for the handle, it seems. I think I just have to cut for the door lock and the window switch. But yeah, that's really cool. See the white stitching? Comes all the way down here where the carpet piece normally is. So this is what it will look like. What do we think? I think that looks just cool. Yeah, like see right there, the door handle fits. Door handle or armrest is going to rest right there on that metal piece that's in there. And I can pretty much put the switches wherever I want. But this looks like sort of a fiberglass that I'm going to have to cut through, and I'm going to make sure I get that correct. So lining up the original, pretty much be right in here. And you can see even from the factory, these were kind of fairly rough cuts. As long as that switch piece fits in, so I just need to mark off the correct spot, correct size, and duplicate that on this really pretty interior piece. Oh, that scares me. Okay, the cool thing is it does come with some instructions. There's a template you use to drill holes in the bottom of the door so that those 3 pegs can go into the door. And this is the template. So there's a hole here, here, and here. Just have to cut this out, tape it up. And it looks like there are 2 door handles that will attach and go in right here so that you have this to pull on to close the door. So that's cool. I have no idea what this is for though. In other news, I have to move the door handle bracket down 3/8 of an inch according to the instructions. So I need to take this out, go down 3/8 of an inch, new holes, and put it in. I think the door handle then fits into here somehow, which doesn't make sense if it's going into the original because it ain't quite long enough. So I guess I'll have to do quite a bit of drilling, unless that's what this bracket is. So I think maybe what they want me to do is take off the original handle, although it doesn't say to do that in the instructions, it just says move it down. Replace that with this. All right, I've got my template on. I just don't know for sure where to actually put it. If I put it down on the curve, it doesn't match up here because this template is smaller on both sides here. Let me see if I'm going to hold the new piece up and see if it matches up. Close, but not really. How about this one? That one's pretty close. I don't think it's all the way far enough down either though. I think I'll be alright. Figured I'd try turning it around, thinking maybe the opposite side was for the passenger, the other side was for the driver, but it's off. Look how far it's off. That's the hole they wanted me to drill. This is where it actually is. That's where it is versus the hole. So I think you want to use the template the right way around, but I'm just going to drill it to where it is, not to where it's supposed to be. I had it nice and down tight up here, so I think that should be good. Now I hit something hard in here, and it actually says in the instructions to cut the front clip off by 3/8 of an inch. So now I know why. I was like, why would I do that? There's something in there. There isn't here. It goes all the way in. All right. So that's done. Now I think I should take this off. Of course, there's actually nuts in both of these. So if I move it down 3/8, I'm just going to have holes. And there's a piece of the mechanism in the way over here. And not over here. So I could actually put one here. And I couldn't put one down there. If I put this one down 3/8 of an inch, there's an indent here. It's not going to be anywhere near level unless I put a bunch of washers or something on here to make it level. They did not think this through. And it's not even that far. It's like right here. Seriously. That's an inch. That's a half an inch. That's 3/8 of an inch. It would be the size of the hole if I move it down that much. Move it down 3/8 of an inch. They make it look like you're moving it down a foot. Move door handle bracket 3/8 below from original location. Drill new holes and fasten with screws. Jesus. And there's where it's talking about cutting off half of that tip. 3/8 of an inch off the tip. Okay, so I happened to watch a video on YouTube on installing a TMI door card. Turns out this does have a purpose. There's a left and a right side, and it's what you're supposed to use to mark out the holes for the door pull. But you saw the instructions. 3/8 of an inch down from the original holes to move it down. Okay, so here it's supposed to fit into this little groove right here. This hole down here and this hole down here are not 3/8 of an inch from this hole. Look at this. That's a good 2.5, 3 inches. 2.5 maybe. But I mean, it says on the instructions 3/8 of an inch down from this hole. And they want me to drill holes down here. Honestly, how hard is this to do? Move door handle bracket 3/8 of an inch below from original location. Drill new holes and fasten with screws. 3/8 of an inch. Now I've just got it setting up here. I don't really have it in tight. But look how far down that would be. If you can see right there, there's a bolt that holds up this original bracket. It sticks out like this. And that seems actually plenty far down. Because this door handle is lining up fairly well. I mean, it needs to come down a little bit. Come down and come over a little bit. But it's 3/8. I mean, that with 3 more inches down, this little piece is going to drop down 3 inches. That is crazy. I mean, I honestly think this would work where it is. Because look, you can see it's not, it's on here fairly well. So I mean, like I said, it does need to get pushed down in. But even the original bracket, I think, is too low for that little tiny 1.5 inch. For this little tiny 1.5 inch drop. It's not even that, maybe. Anyway, I'll stop complaining and just see where I can put it and see what makes sense, because their templates and their stupid little plastic pieces don't make any sense at all. But this has to be structured. You have to be able to pull on this door handle to get it to close. So it needs to be in there tight. All right, I said I was going to stop complaining, but I just kind of want to show you something. I put the original handle bracket back in there. I put the little black piece down in there. It lines up with the hole. You can see all the way straight down through. If I made another hole right there, this would work. In fact, like I said, it's a little bit low. You see that there's a little bit of clearance right there. It's actually where it is too low. Again, this is going to come down once I get this all seated into place, but where it is exactly now where it's going to work. I don't need to drill any new holes. I don't need to do anything different because I don't really need to do anything else to put the door card on. I just need to snap it into place, and then I need to pop in the 3 notches down into the doors, the new holes that I drilled in the door, and that's it. So now I need to fix this window. Cool thing is I just got my cheap Chinesium whatchamacallit here for the door window switch. I just need to thread in all of these wires, splice them together with the existing wires. The fun part is they're all black. Instead of being color coded to the wires that are on the door, I'm going to have to figure out which one, where each one goes, splice them together, and then I'll have my door switch or my power window switch back. Okay, so I've got pink, black and blue, blue, white, blue, and tan. So I pretty much have blue, white, blue, tan, black, blue, pink. So I pretty much lined it up so it's got 3 on this side, 2 on that side, and that's where the originals go. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these wires off, splice these on. What does make me mad whenever you buy something cheap like this, look at the thickness of these wires compared to these. These aren't much different, but these are all heavy gauge wires, and hopefully it works. Don't have a lot of great hope, but I mean, these are copper wires. These are not. And yeah, that's the joy of buying something that it just isn't made as well anymore. Okay, I got all the wires spliced together. Guess I should drop my switch on here, see how well it does. Well, of course, the holes in here are way too small. I did get the window to go back up, so it does work. It's just terrible fit, cheap plastic. I think maybe if I use the wires in the old little carrying case, it might work better. Jesus, $30. $30 for that. Okay, of course the old one works way better. It's in there nice and tight. We are good to go with that. I've drilled my hole here so I can put the door handle in. The only other little thing I want to do is my door lock. The reason why I'm going to replace it is the key that came with the truck opens the driver's door, does not open the passenger door. So that tells me that maybe they switched that one out, didn't bother to do this one, which it happens. So I'm going to go ahead and replace them both. That way I've got 2 keys and I can open up both sides with 1 key. So that's the only other thing I need to do before I seal this up tight. My lock set is on the way here tomorrow, I believe, and we'll jump back into it. I know what else I needed to do. Needed to mark the size and location for my door lock switch and my power window switch. Okay, I drew it a little straighter in black this time. That was a rough guesstimate, but I pretty much have the dimensions matched to the old one, and I think I'm fairly straight on there. The tricky part, of course, is cutting it. I think the best thing to do would be to make a hole in the center of those squares and then cut an X for the material. That way I can fold the material in. But this feels like fiberglass. What can I cut this with and not mangle it too bad? It's pretty thick. 1/4 of an inch maybe? Oof. I'm going to try a Dremel tool, see if I can use that to cut this with. I know I don't really want to be doing this without a mask on with the fiberglass, but it's just a little small cut, so hopefully it won't cause too many problems. All right, so I have cut through the fiberglass. Now it's just the fabric with what looks like a little bit of backing to it. I think maybe I can cut through that. So I'm going to cut the other one out and at least have that part done. Okay, that one's out too. So I went ahead and cut the cardboard backing out in sections. That was not coming out with a knife. Got the cardboard cleared out, but I think I may need to make it a little larger. This one kind of fits, but not well. This one not at all. But better to go small and cut it open than it is to go too big. Okay, pretty much have that in there. Do a little more tweaking on this side and should be good. I really got this dirty. But yeah, I mean, probably could use a new one of these because this one looks a little beat up. But yeah, this side is good to go too. I'm gonna wait till I put it up to go ahead and put the power windows. I think it's Windows lock, isn't it? Pretty sure. Okay, next on my list, I got my new lock cylinders. 2 keys, 2 locks, all the little accessories that come with it. I am going to see if I can use the original clips though. Again, 40-year-old hardware is better than brand new Chinesium. I mean, it just is. So hopefully I can get that out in one piece. Let's take a look at it. If you've never had to change the lock cylinder on your Squarebody, follow me. Here's what we're going to do next. If you have, hopefully I'll get it right and you won't laugh at me too hard. Interestingly enough, this is the exact same set I ordered for my Pontiac Le Mans, my 68 Le Mans. This is an 85 C10. I guess unsurprisingly, they kept the same thing going on through the years. I'm actually wondering now if my keys from my Le Mans will unlock the C10 doors. Once I get this in. So yeah, they actually had the same design. It was like, hey, you already purchased this. And I was like, oh, it's the same thing. And it's like, yep, it's the Squarebody. So let's go ahead and get this in. Hopefully you can see it, but it's right down here. The door latch is up a lot higher, but the key is way down here. And it's just a matter of pulling this clip out this way, and then it comes off. Wait a minute. Now I realized why it's not working. There's nothing hooked up to it. I mean, like nothing. Huh. That's not good. Like it turns, but there's nothing for it to turn. I just realized. Oh, I hope that hardware that's in there is still in there. All right, I gotta check around. All right, so I felt down inside the door. Nothing's in there. It didn't fall down, but there is a piece missing. I checked LMC Trucks and looked at all their door component parts, and it's this little, it's called a pawl, P-A-W-L, and that's missing. I have a feeling what happened was they did change the door lock on the driver's side. They didn't bother with this side because it didn't work. That piece is gone. And so that's why the one key works on that side. Doesn't even work on this side, but they didn't bother because this piece was missing and they just said, screw it. But this is what it looks like. Hopefully you can make that out. That goes on to the lock cylinder, it goes out and then comes into the one piece that's in there. As you can see here, that piece is in there, it's intact, and it does work. But there's a gap about this far between the piece that comes down and the lock cylinder. So I've got to order that, which means I can't do anything with this until I get that. This is like a $7 part from LMC. It'll take a week to get here and cost probably more than the part did to ship it, because, you know, that's how things work. So that's ordered. Again, a couple days, hopefully. It's the holiday season, so you never know when it's going to show up. But I at least can get the old one out, put the new one in, and be ready to go with that pawl. Pop that in, and then I'll be able to put the door card on. It's always something, isn't it? All right, I like to use this because it's got a little bit of an angle to it to pull that tab out, and kind of can't really show you because dark and very small in here. But the nice thing is it's a fairly big opening. Should probably remove this, but at least I won't cut my hands up, hopefully, too bad, like I did when I tried to put in the window motor. Let me see if I can get to it. All right, so there it is. I just go in at an angle and I just pull this little clip out. It's got a little piece on it that rises up, and let me get the old one out. I think I might use this. And there's the lock cylinder. It's got a little gasket on it. That is pretty much thrashed, but I'm gonna drop the new one in. New gasket. And just in case you're not aware, it does have little indents in the gasket, and those indents don't go on this first one. It goes on these second ones down here. The other thing to watch for is when you put it in, I like to make sure that the jagged part of the key is down. All right, so there's that on this side. I just need to put that clip back on. And the trick is to get it between the little opening. See how there's a gap? This has to slide in around that. And I dropped it. There we go. A little brute force. And I've got it on there, and just from now I gotta wait for that pawl to show up. All right, I've been ranting a bit in this video, but one more. One of the other things I wanted to do with the truck was replace the headliner, right? It's got the bows, it's got fabric, and it looks like there is a sort of cardboard piece up here that would go in here. I thought, you know what, maybe I can replace the fabric with something, you know, plastic. I don't know if you have shopped headliners for Squarebodies, but right now it starts at $300. It goes up to $900. TMI, that makes my door cards, has one for $9.99. $600. It's a piece of plastic, people. It's nothing special. It's 5 feet by 3 feet, and it's molded plastic. And, you know, some vinyl, some have fabric on them, but I mean, $300 for a piece of plastic. I know prices and all this and blah, 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 but at no point should that cost more than maybe $100, maybe $150 if it's super cool. I mean, sure, they have nice ones that have little speaker holes and all this kind of stuff, but I'm not replacing a dash pad. I'm not replacing the seat upholstery. $600 for a square piece of plastic is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I'm going to take this old one out. I'm going to take that cardboard piece hopefully out, and I'm going to see if I can maybe put some foam padding on it and new material. I am not spending $300 for a headliner, for a plastic truck headliner. I'm not. So yeah, enough complaining, but a week later, $18 in shipping. 1 week. Got this little piece. Okay, this is what I needed. This is the piece that goes on the lock. This is the piece that gets into the mechanism to pull the lock up and down. Let's put it in. All right, so this has got to go on the lock itself, and I've got to get that in. No real way to show you this, but I just kind of have to do it. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention, I've got it on there, but this is the little clip that's supposed to keep that pawl on. So I've got to slip this on there and lock it into place. That way, like right now, here, let me show you. So there, it's working. I just got to get that little clip on there to make sure it stays on there. This is going to be fun to try to do blindfolded. Basically, I'm going to have to reach in, get it on there, slide it forward. All right, it's on. Won't tell you about the half an hour it took to get it on there. But it works. I've got my power window line through. Since I've got that on there fairly tight, I'm going to go ahead and hook it up first. Then we will hang this up here. All right, door handle. Got it on. Door handle still works. All right, I need to get that pushed in, but I've got the door handle cover on, those up. Now I just need to drop this down in. Okay, last thing to do is push these in, and hopefully I line the holes up correctly. Does not appear I lined them up perfectly. Actually, I did have them. All right, so those are in. All of that for a door card. What do we think? It's on. I just got to do the other side, unfortunately. But everything is good to go. I still want to get the windows down, see if I can push in those felts. But I don't need to do that with the door card on, and this one's been running long enough. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. If you can, give me a like on the video if you got anything out of it. It really helps the channel. Leave a comment down below. YouTube loves comments. So if you have any questions or suggestions, let me know. I'll try to put everything in the description for the stuff that I used here in case you're sort of doing the same thing. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will catch you next time. More to come on this interior.